There's a special kind of panic that hits the moment you realize someone is watching you work. You're typing, drawing, or just doing your thing, and suddenly you feel eyes on you. Your shoulders tense, your mind goes blank, and you start making mistakes you'd never make alone. It's like your brain short circuits under the spotlight. You wonder, why does being watched make me malfunction? Why can't I just ignore it like everyone else? Psychology says, if being watched makes your brain freeze, your mind is doing something most people never talk about. Once you see what's really happening, you'll never call yourself too sensitive in the same way again. You've probably heard it from others. You need to toughen up. You should be able to handle people watching. You're too sensitive. Or you're not confident enough. Maybe a boss insists on hovering, or a teacher manager used to stand over you, saying, "Go on, just do it," while your brain's short-circuited. You've probably called yourself names too. I'm pathetic. Normal adults don't freeze when someone looks at them. You see coworkers who seem unfazed by open-plan offices and constant observation, and you feel broken for needing privacy just to function. Other people treat being watched as neutral or even motivating. You experience it as a surge of pressure that hijacks your focus. You wonder if you're just weak, or if you're missing some secret skill for performing under pressure. Most people like you stop here and conclude they're just bad under pressure, but that's only because nobody ever explained what your brain is actually reacting to when eyes are on you. Here's the reframe. Psychology suggests that hating being watched while working is often less about incompetence and more about having a pressure-sensitive, evaluation-aware nervous system. When you feel observed, especially by someone who has power over you, the brain can interpret it as a social threat. I'm being judged right now. If you're already reflective and self-monitoring, that spotlight can overload your circuits. You're not bad at the task. Your brain is juggling the task. And the feeling of being evaluated in real time? You're not too sensitive. You're wired for focus, not surveillance. That's a real strength in the right environment. Let's break down what's really happening in your mind and body when someone's watching you work. First, there's evaluation anxiety and the social threat response. Being visibly watched, especially by authority, can trigger a mini fight-or-flight reaction. Your heart rate goes up, muscles tense, and the thinking parts of your brain get less access to resources for a moment. That's the white screen feeling. It's not that you forgot how, it's that your system is in survival mode, not smooth performance mode. Second, there's high self-monitoring and perfectionism. You're probably not just doing the task. You're also thinking, how do I look? Do I seem slow? Am I making a mistake? Psychologists call this self-monitoring, being highly aware of how you're coming across. When someone's watching, your attention splits. Half on the task, half on your imagined image in their mind. That split kills your natural flow. Third, there's flow disruption and context sensitivity. Many introverted or depth-oriented minds work best in flow, uninterrupted focus, low noise, low eyes on them. A watcher is like someone tapping you on the shoulder every few seconds. It yanks you out of that state. The more sensitive you are to context, the more your performance will differ between alone, calm, and observed, pressured. Most people only see that you mess up when someone's watching. They never see the threat response, the double tasking, and the flow disruption your brain is dealing with before you even type the next word. Here's where your sensitivity can be both wisdom and a trap. Your discomfort with being watched is a sign of depth through care about doing things well. You're attuned to context, and you're not numb to social feedback. That's valuable. But it can also slide into avoidance if you start dodging any situation where your work might be seen, never asking for help because it means showing your process or telling yourself, I can only work alone, even when collaboration would help you grow. On the outside, it can look like resistance or lack of confidence. Inside, it's often fear of being judged mid-process. A gentle self-check. Am I honoring my need for low-pressure focus, or using it as a reason to never let anyone see me as a work in progress? When you see it clearly, your story stops being just weak or unprofessional and starts sounding more like the truth. You're a pressure-sensitive, high-awareness mind in a world that assumes everyone thrives under constant observation. You do your best work in environments that support flow. Fewer eyes, fewer interruptions, more autonomy. That's a valid work style. The work now is to work with your wiring, not against it. Position your screen differently. Ask for written feedback instead of live hovering. Schedule deep work blocks. Or say, I'll walk you through it once I've done a draft, so you can think first, present later. Try tiny experiments. Let someone watch for a minute. Then ask for space, or practice sharing your process in low-stakes situations. Over time, you'll teach your system that you can be seen and still do great work. If this felt like someone finally explained why your brain seizes up the moment someone stands over your shoulder, you're not the only one, and you're not broken for needing less pressure to do your best work. Subscribe and stay close if you want more videos that decode traits like this without shaming you. And tell me in the comments where you notice this the most, because next, we're going even deeper into how sensitive, depth-oriented minds like yours can thrive in environments that weren't built for them.